Like, no. If I would just tried it again, y'all tried it again. But yeah, let's see what's up with this David Celeste situation.
Press conference where they are announcing that David is being charged with the murder of Celeste. I had little to no faith that they had enough to truly get a conviction out of David. But after watching this press conference, I really don't have faith in LAPD, in the DA, in the state. I have no faith at all. They're going to truly get a conviction and give Celeste justice. And it's not because I think David is innocent. I think David is 100% guilty. I think David is one of the most vile, evil human beings we have ever witnessed.
So David was the R&B artist dude that allegedly, how would I put this? Allegedly dismembered a young lady and put her in the trunk or the front of a Tesla. And like 3 years ago, I think, a couple years ago, I believe. And he just got arrested a few days back, not too long ago. I think this is the update, I believe. But yeah, he need to go to jail if that's the case. I don't care, boy.
Is on earth. But unfortunately, evilness comes with some genius. And when you give a gore-obsessed true crime super fan 6 months to cover up a murder minimum, you probably gonna have to do some extreme police work to figure out what really happened. And I don't think that extreme police work has taken place because we still don't know what happened. So excuse me, by the way, if I'm a tad bit frustrated after I watch a press conference where they're announcing first-degree murder charges against somebody, but yet these people are refusing to say he murdered her. Again, slow it down and truly understand what I just said. They did a press conference to announce first-degree murder charges, but yet the detective, the police chief, and everybody involved deliberately went out of their way the entire press conference to not say David murdered Celeste. They in turn says the last.
Does that mean they probably don't have enough evidence? Yeah, I ain't trying to stick up for bro nothing type junk, but I mean like when they do stuff like that, does that mean they don't have enough evidence type shit? You know, let me know.
Time she was found alive was in David's house, and that's as far as they were willing to go. They did not say David murdered Celeste the entire press conference.
Ms. Rivas was a reported runaway from Riverside County. During the course of our investigation, detectives learned that she had been involved in a sexual relationship with Mr. Burke when she was a minor and he was an adult. On April 23, 2025, Ms. Rivas arrived at Mr. Burke's home in the Hollywood Hills. That's the last time she was known to be alive. On September 8, 2025, Ms. Rivas's dismembered and badly decomposed body was discovered in the front trunk of Mr. Burke's impounded Tesla. From that...
Yeah, but yeah. Then he put Buddy underneath that motherfucker, boy.
Moment forward, our investigators face an extraordinary, difficult, and complex case. The condition of her remains delayed the medical examiner's ability to be able to determine cause of death. The substantial amount of time that passed between her death...
So they're saying her body was so badly decomposed they couldn't even get the evidence? Nah, that's crazy, gang. Nah, that's wild. That's wild.
Death and the discovery meant that crucial evidence had degraded or disappeared. And as detectives worked to uncover the truth, they also had to sift through and debunk a great deal.
On April 23, 2025, has been alleged by the complaint, Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time, went to Mr. Burke's house in the...
Only 14, yo? That's fucking sick, bro.
Hollywood Hills. She was never heard from again.
The language was, she was last seen on this day. Last seen doesn't mean that's when she was murdered. And I feel like if you're gonna charge somebody with premeditated murder, you will at least have to know the day she was murdered. I feel like knowing the day she was murdered should be the literal foundation of where you built this case on top of. But if, she was last seen on April 20th. Yeah, this weirdo could have kept her tied up in the basement, went on tour and have somebody else murder her. Right? That could...
People do. People have devious thoughts. This world is freaking wicked, sick as fuck.
Could have been that. So why don't we have more specifics? Why don't we have a day when she was murdered? Y'all talked to everybody involved in this situation. Y'all put the heat and the pressure. Y'all told us. We ain't know. Y'all told us. Oh, she was in the grand jury. Oh, she was giving it to them. Oh, she had them ready to cry.
This boy Flacco crazy. This boy Flacco.
Oh, she had them ready to cry during the interrogation, but she ain't get a day out of David homies yet? It doesn't make sense at all to me, man. Now, again, it's not a big deal. They didn't say out of their mouth David murdered Celeste ever during this press conference, but if they're charging him with first-degree murder, do they really need to? Now, they are charging him with first-degree murder. They're charging him with lewd acts with somebody under 14, which, amazing, he should, because he's a creep as well. Now, they're also adding special circumstances to this, which is, is almost going to make it impossible for him to get out of jail on bail. But here are the actual charges they're charging David with.
As we will show in a court of law, and what I also want to make sure about that the understanding of these charges is clear, is my description of these charges is not evidence that we are going to present in court. These charges, in fact, will not be evidence in the court. Evidence will be the witness testimony, the documents, and different types of admissible testimony that we will admit into court in the prosecution, and if it leads to the eventual trial of Mr. Burke, to convince a jury of 12 people beyond a reasonable doubt that each and every one of these charges is true, as well as the special allegations and circumstances.
So they're relying on the witnesses. Witnesses, evidence
That have been alleged. So what you have as well with these charges,
up to a certain extent,
is that, again, there are 3 sets of charges that have been brought. The first-degree murder with special circumstances, and again, those special circumstances are lying in wait. That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, at his invitation, and again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste, and the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious.
So the witness to the investigation was the girl, but the girl is not here. Ooh, boy, he might get off with this shit, boy. I ain't trying to know, but he might get off with this shit, gang. But if he did it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he's a piece of shit. He shouldn't be off. But, I mean, like, the way this man sounding, he don't sound too confident. He don't sound too confident at all.
Sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke that is the subject of count 2 of this complaint with Celeste while she was under 14 years old.
Here's the good and here's the bad. I like the fact that they're swinging for the fences. It sounds hypocritical. If I'm saying y'all don't have enough, why would y'all charge them right now? I would say I like the fact that they are not just taking, like the cheap way out. And the cheap way out would be, hey, Judge, we don't have enough for murder right now, but we know this creep was victimizing this underage girl, right, before she was 14 years old. We have proof of that. Charge him with that. Charge him with abuse of the body after the fact. That's it. No, they're swinging for the fence. They're saying, no, this dude deserves the death penalty. He deserves life in prison, and we're going to try to get him life in prison. Because the other stuff, he would have been out within 5 years with the other stuff.
I was about to say, yeah.
Murder is the reason why they're pushing for death penalty and life in prison. So it's good. Now, the bad part about it is how are you going to prove this stuff? Now, the motive, I'm sure
That's why I said the DA, he looked kind of nerd. He didn't look too confident saying, he said, well, the evidence is the witnesses. I said, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, well, the witnesses is evidence, but I did say up to a certain extent. But you saying the witness is the girl and the girl is deceased.
motive, like they probably have text messages from Celeste's cell phone, from David's cell phone. They probably got some text where it shows Celeste probably telling David, hey, I'm going to go public with this. I'm going to expose you for victimizing me before I was for. They probably have all the messages and they're saying, okay, here's the messages of Celeste threatening David. He invites her over and then she's never to be seen again. That's good. I like that. That's a good motive. You cooking with grease right now. But we're
Them phones is good evidence now, no? You know what I'm saying? But people be sleeping on the phones, like those messages, everything's recorded from where you was tracking. This is a whole tracking device, y'all. Matter of fact, they probably don't need no human evidence. They just need the phone records. They don't have your phone. They just know your phone. They just need to know your phone number and your phone company. Then once they get the phone company, they're gonna submit a subpoena to the phone company to get your phone records. Once they get the phone records, all they gotta do is convince. It's all about convincing in court.
Where you mess up at and where you kind of like let your entire case go to the wayside when you don't have witness testimony. Now, if you had witness testimony that really mattered, more than one people would be arrested right now. You see, if you have people telling you, yeah, I heard he did. That's not enough. By witness, I mean people who was involved in this, people who you guys probably brought in, gave them.
You need more than one person. You can't just have one person come out the blue and say, "Oh, this, oh yeah." I mean, can you have one witnesses? I'm under the notion that you need at least 2 or 3 witnesses to get an indictment. I don't know about just one. Unless it was like a 3-person and they might have seen you, you know what I'm saying? Like if you murk someone in front of the 3rd person and the 3rd person came to the court and say, hey, you did it. I seen you. Maybe that makes sense, but I guess in a case like this, it doesn't. Then the witnesses also, like said, the girl, y'all, he just said the witnesses. See, so like who are the witnesses? But they said the phone, so you know.
Immunity in exchange for their testimony to testify against David. That's what I mean. But the only reason you would get immunity is if you were present, if you were there when David murdered this girl and you could give him a date, a time, when he did it, how he did it. But they don't got none of that. They don't even got a day of when David murdered Celeste. So you damn sure don't got nobody who was present or who was well aware.
So is this a definition of a dead man walking? That's like, it's like when the whole world know you did some weird ass shit, allegedly, and you get off in the courts. I think they call that dead man walking. I don't know.
And as far as we know, you guys still haven't arrested a person who was driving a Tesla and parked it. So good side, swing for the fence. Bad side, you don't really got the smoking gun. And when they was asked about the smoking gun, their explanation was,
they got the gun, they just ain't got no ammunition for real.
Like just laughable. Because he said everything in his power not to say, we don't got the smoking gun, but we working on it.
Aware of this relationship, is it possible that you will be arresting other people within his circle, and did he act alone in this death?
Again, with respect to whether or not there's any other individuals or we're going to take any other actions, you will know about them if we do, but at this point I'm not commenting.
Do you believe that you know how she was killed, beyond it being homicide? The actual cause of death?
The coroner's report will be released shortly. Because it is not currently released, I'm not going to be commenting.
But was it determined, not that, if you won't say what it was, but has it been determined how she was killed, beyond it being homicide?
The coroner has made a determination on how Celeste died, and at the point that the coroner's report becomes public, we'll be able to comment on it.
Was there a specific breakthrough last week? Is there physical evidence that ties David to this murder?
feel like, you know, since it's an investigation, they can't release so much information as well, you know? Detective can't just get out there like, well, this is they probably can only release bits and pieces at a time because it's still an investigation. You know, they can't. That's like the coach telling the other team, well, we're gonna do this play on you, and we're gonna do this play next. We're gonna do this play. Nah, they got to keep something under, you know, under the tent, under the hood.
There is physical evidence and there is forensic and digital evidence that we intend to present in court to prove these charges beyond a reasonable doubt.
Only a couple more questions.
Yes.
Your investigation, and just to his question, are you able to tell us exactly what the smoking gun is? And also, if you can address the issue of his visit to Santa Barbara and back, how does it connect with the murder?
So with respect to the actual details of the evidence we're going to be presenting in court, I'm not going to do that today. As far as the concept of a smoking gun, the smoking gun is the totality of the evidence that we're going to bring to prove any case, whether it's this case or any case, beyond a reasonable doubt.
AKA, there's no smoking gun. There's nothing that we could look at and say, aha, we got him. It does not exist. You know why?
Flacco said they bullshit.
Why? Because he had minimum 6 months, maximum probably a year to cover up his tracks. That's as simple as that, bruh. Now, when you listen to David's attorneys kind of already tackling these allegations, she's very careful with her words. And this is why I say them not having a smoking gun is going to be, it's going to be very hard to overcome. Because the lawyer is leaving everything on the table. She's not saying, David didn't have no idea what's going on. David is unaware of how Celeste killed herself or how Celeste was murdered. She's saying David is not responsible for Celeste's death.
Your Honor, from the media reports, apparently there have been...
I can't cap. What he looked like he did that shit, boy. Boy, that boy look soulless.
4 months of...
That boy look like a soulless demon.
...secret grand jury proceedings.
Or, I mean, he just got arrested, too. That's how anybody gonna look shit.
We believe that Mr. Burke is entitled at the earliest opportunity to an open preliminary hearing and the proceedings not be done in secret. So we are asking for a preliminary hearing to be set at the earliest possible date on the 10th day. Your Honor, we believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that. We're asking for April 23rd as a 3 of 10, Your Honor.
Anything from the people?
We'll be very happy to put
Are they asking for a speedy trial? Speedy case, speedy trial?
on the evidence that we've collected in this case in the last several months.
Thank you. So the matter will be set, plea of not guilty has been entered on behalf of Mr. Burke. The matter will be set in Department 105. The matter is ordered assigned to Judge Charlene Almeida in Department 105 for all purposes by the judge of the supervising judge of criminal.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may just put on the record, we have, as soon as the people arrived, delivered a informal discovery request consistent with Penal Code Section 1054. We have been given almost no discovery thus far. We've received a 3-page follow-up report, no autopsy report, and a copy of the complaint. And we would ask the people respectfully to produce discovery at the earliest opportunity.
Your Honor, as I indicated to counsel, there's approximately 40 terabytes of discovery in this case. Moreover, in order...
Woo! 40 terabytes. Hold on, chat. Let's see what's 40 terabytes. 40 terabytes. Let's see that. How much is... I think that's 40,000 gigabytes. 40... Exactly. 40,000 gigabytes. 10 million high. It can hold approximately, so to break it down even better, 40 terabytes is equal to 40,000 gigabytes. It can hold approximately 10 million high resolution photos, 10,000 HD movies, or 20,000 hours of videos. That's a lot of evidence.
In order to obtain the transcripts from a grand jury investigation, counsel has to file a motion. She knows the way this.
Imagine they come to court day one and they say, you know what? You got us. David is a pedo. David was victimizing Celeste before she was 14. David had an inappropriate relationship with her. However, David did not murder her. David was not the cause of her death. Here's what happened. David and Celeste had a nasty breakup. Celeste did drugs or overdose or did it to herself. David panicked and stuffed her body and chopped it up and tried to hide it as much as possible to hide his secret of him being involved in an inappropriate relationship with Celeste.
Wait,
Imagine on day one, David and Celeste had a nasty breakup. Celeste did drugs or overdose or did it to herself. David panicked and stuffed her body and chopped it up and tried to hide it as much as possible to hide his secret of him being involved in an inappropriate relationship with Celeste. Imagine on day one, that's what they come with.
That's crazy, man.
How are you going to refute that with the things you guys have if you guys don't even know how she passed away? If y'all don't know when she passed away? They could very well come to court, cop out to everything, but then say, we didn't murder her, she did it to herself, and here's how. Right? Now, the prosecutors are claiming that the medical examiner, they're going to release something today or tomorrow where they're going to list a call.
That shit crazy, man. Shout out to Flacco's channel, man. We'll put his channel in the chat, man. That shit crazy. If he is guilty, you know, if he is guilty, he's a piece of shit. He should be locked up. He should, you know, get everything that's coming from him from the justice system. But it seems like the justice system is moving real slow. It's fucked up. That shit, goddamn fucking crazy. So shit, what the comments saying? David definitely not getting out, Flacco. I'm betting my own life. It's 78. David Jolly. Oh my God, they just. If he didn't do it, get the real killer. It's about what they can prove. Isn't that what we just said earlier? It's about what they can prove. Most cases, they know exactly who do it, but they can't do shit unless they prove it. Starting with evidence and witnesses. I don't even call the cops no more. My house got shot out. Okay. Damn. Alright, let's choose the next video, y'all.